Hi everyone, welcome to our next session about group sets and parameters. In this last video, we saw about how to create filters, how to sort your graph, different types of sorting, different types of filters, how to choose a filter, and also about order of operation. In today's video, I'm going to explain you what is groups, how to create groups, what is sets, the types of sets, and also about bins and parameters. Groups are used to combine dimension members into higher level categories. That is, in certain cases, you may have a dimension which is going to have large number of dimensional values. In that cases, you may need to break that into several dimensions as a subgroups based on the requirements. And also it is used to combine the dimensional members into the higher level categories. You can group a dimension that contains states into regions. It's an example. Groups are marked with a paperclip icon in a data pane. There are two ways you can create groups in Tableau. Let's go for a live demo. How to create groups in Tableau. So I'm connecting to the sample superstore dataset. Let me take subcategory and sales. Now, if I want to group these items, so I have subcategories. I'm going to break this subcategory into 3 groups. For example, let me select all the stationery items. That is, I'm giving a control click, accessories, copiers, bookcases, paper, envelopes, labels, fasteners. And I'm going to group it. So this is a group symbol, a paperclip symbol, and click on this symbol. When you create a groups, there is one more dimension added to your dimension window called subcategory group. Each and every time you're going to break a large dimensional members, a separate group as a separate dimension would be created in your dimension window. This dimension is particular to this workbook where you can reuse it within this workbook. It's not right back to your original data source, but it belongs to this particular workbook. Let me group all the mission items like phones, missions, appliances as missionaries. And let it be as others. As I said, once you create a group, you would be having a dimension with group symbol. You can click here and go for edit group to change the names, or else click here and give edit aliases. Here also you would be able to change the group names. Else click on the group, edit group, rename. And I want to include all the things as others. So you can click on include other. If I want to move any of the data items from others to missions or stationery, click on the particular data item and you would be able to move to missions or stationeries. We also have this find option where if you want to find some values using contain starts with exactly matches, you can use this find member options and give OK. So now I have break the last dimensional members which had 17 values into 3 groups. So now I could see what is the total sales achieved by missions, stationaries and other. Another way of creating groups is click on the particular dimension, create groups. So now if I want to group only the particular products, or if I want to know the profit achieved by Epson products, contains find all. Okay. And you can click on group. Same, I'm going to check for xenon products. Let it be Xerox. Group it. Include other. So we had so many members in product names, but now I have grouped into Epson products, Xerox products and other. I want to know the profit achieved only by Epson and Xerox. Another group has been created. Let me exclude other. Profits. Total profits achieved by Epson products and Xerox products. So this is one way of grouping, directly selecting from the view. Another way of grouping, clicking on any dimensions or measures and you can create the groups. As I said, groups are used to break the larger dimensional into smaller dimensional or subcategory of the values. Let's move on to the next topic about sets. Similar to your groups, we have a concept called sets in Tableau. Set is nothing but subset of your data that meets a certain condition. When you are creating the groups, groups can be randomly grouped using the members in the larger dimensionals. Set is creating a subset of data based on some conditions. Set offer greater flexibility as you can link them to the conditions, where groups cannot. Set appear in a separate window below your measures and subsequently are easier to locate and don't create a clutter. You can group only within one dimension, while sets can be grouped across multiple dimensions. There are similar points where you have to understand the difference between groups and sets. So that's what I have mentioned in the slide as well. When you create a set, it is going to display two values in and out. In are the members that has been included in the set and out are the members that has been excluded by the set. There are three types of sets: constant sets, computed sets and combined sets. Constant sets are similar to your grouping are the sets that once created does not change. Constant sets are also referred as random sets or fixed sets because it is not going to change until you manually remove the values from the set. If the underlying data changes, the membership of the constant set does not change to reflect these differences. As I said, these are also called as manually created sets. Computed sets use logic to dynamically update the membership of the set. When you create a computed sets, you are just holding the conditions and not the value. And when the data changes, according to that, your values in the sets also updates dynamically. This is a key distinction between your constant sets and computed ones. Computed sets can only use a single dimension where constant sets might have multiple dimensions. And the third type of set, combined sets, which can be created based on already created two sets which has been related. Let's go on for a live demo to know how to create a sets in Tableau. Similar to a group, sets can be created using two methods, that is, one is directly creating from the view, another one is based on your dimensions. I'm creating a scatter plot using sales and profit with order ID. So now you can either group the values or you can create a set. In order to create the set, you just select the values. I'm selecting orders with lowest profit and sales. This is the set symbol. You can create a set. Once you create a set, so these are the members that has been included in the set. Orders with low sales and profit. Once you create a set, the set will appear in a set window. You would not be able to see the set window until you create a set. As I said, when you create a set, so it will give you two values, that is in and out. The in would be members which has been included in the set and out would be members which has been excluded in the set. So we have orders which has been included and orders which has been excluded. So let me show you how to create random sets, that is your constant sets as well as the computed sets. Let me create a graph using customer name and sales. Here I randomly select some values and create a set. I am including 6 customers in this set. This is similar to creating a group. Constant sets, as I said, it's also called as fixed set. These 6 values will not change until you edit the values from the set. And based on the data changes, these 6 values is not going to get reflected. To the same scenario, let me create one more set by clicking on the customer name, create, set. I go for the top tab, top 10 customer based on sum of sales. So now this is called as a computed sets. Here I am holding a condition, that is top 10 customers by sales. So here when the data changes, some customers may not be in top 10 also. In that cases, this is just holding the condition and not the values. As I said, computed sets are dynamic. It changes when your data changes. But constant sets are fixed. Sets can be also used to refer in the marks card section, even groups. So I can even use in marks card section to show the different colors, the in values and out values. Also, I can refer the sets to the other sheets of within the same workbook. So here in this computed set, I have top customers by sales and here I have top customers by profit. The third set, which I called as a combined sets, you can click here, create combined sets. Top customers by sales and top customers by profit. So you can combine the members from both the sets using any of these 4 options. The first option is to include all members in both the set, and second option only the shared members, and third option all members from your first set and shared members from your second set, and fourth option all members from the fourth from your right as well as not the shared members from your left. Based on the requirements, you may choose any of these options to combine the members from both the sets. For example, if I want to know the customers who are in top position based on sales and profit, I should go for the second option, shared members in both sets. And this is called as combined sets. So these are the 5 customers who are in top position based on both top customers by sales as well as top customers by profit. I hope you understood the concept of grouping as well as creating sets. Let's move on to the next topic about bins. Bins are also called as discrete values, which is going to hold some buckets of values. Sometimes it is useful to organize the values of measures into bins. That is, we know that always a measure would be a continuous field. Suppose if I want to convert that continuous into a discrete data. For example, if I have an age according to the customers, if I want to classify them into different buckets or different ranges based on the age, bins would be most useful. Bins are also useful to create histograms in Tableau. Let me show you how to create bins. Sales is a continuous field. If I want to analyze the sales value based on the ranges starting from start value to the end value, then I can go for creating bins. Click on the sales, create bins. When you create a bin, you have to define size of the bin. By default, Tableau suggests a bin size based on the number of records in the particular column. Or else, you can also suggest your own values, or you can pass the values dynamic using a parameter. So let me choose the value as 1000 here and give OK. So now this is a continuous value. When I create a bin, it became a discrete dimension. So let me take the sales bin as well as sales, and from sum let me change it to count. So this gives me the range of sales from 0 to 22,000. So from 0 to 1000, so nearly 9,000 records are there. Bins helps you to analyze a particular measure by splitting into various ranges. Also, when you create a histogram, for example, to create a histogram, you just need a single measure. So I have just taken quantity. Using show me, I click on histograms. Automatically it creates bins as well as take the quantity count. This gives you a histogram based on the range of values present in quantity. Sometimes converting a continuous value to discrete value answers you so many questions, and also it helps us to split your values into buckets or different ranges. Group sets and bins. These are similar concepts where in all of the concepts you are holding some values but with a different purposes. We have one more thing called as parameters. Parameters are dynamic values that replace constant values, that is used in calculations, filters as well as reference lines. Parameters are static. You can populate the list of range of values within a parameter by using a field from your data source. In most of the real-time scenarios, we do not hard-code the values. We have to pass the values dynamically. Parameters are most useful to achieve this job. Parameter values can be defined by the desktop user or entered as an input by the report consumer or populated with values of fields from the data source. So you create a parameter and you associate it with the filters or calculated fields, or it can also be used in bins and reference lines. Let's go and create a parameter. The parameter also appear in a separate parameter window, and it will appear only when you create a parameter. In order to create a parameter, you can click here and go for a create parameter. Else, you can also click on any dimension to create a parameter. So let me take customer name versus sales. Here, when I am defining it in a filter, in top filters, instead of hard coding this value as 5, 10 and 15 or 20, I want to pass the values dynamically. For that, I am going to use parameter. So click here and go for create new parameter. When you are creating a parameter, so first you have to define the data type. When you are creating automatically inside a filter or a calculated window, it picks up the data type automatically. You define the parameter name. I give as top N customers. Current value would be the default value, that is when you run the report first time, what the value should be. So that is defined by the current value. So there are all parameter, list parameter and range parameter. Range parameter, you can specify the range. So I give the range as minimum to the maximum values. And minimum value would be 10 to the maximum of 50. So I want to fetch from top 10 to top 50 customers. Step size is called as the frequency between the first and the next value. If I want to add as 10 values, I have to give as the step size as 10. It's not a mandatory, it's optional value. And let me give it OK. Once you create a parameter, it will appear on the parameter window. And you have to give show parameter control in order to make your parameter appear on the right side. So now I would be able to control my view by selecting from 10 to top 50 customers. So here we have associated the parameters with filters. Parameters can be associated with filters, calculated fields, reference lines and bins. We would be seeing most use cases related to parameter in Tableau advanced sections. In today's video, I explained you about creating groups, uses of groups, sets, types of sets, as well as bins and parameters. I hope it's been useful for you. Thanks for listening. Thank you.